While people are getting settled, I just, wanted to, I have a reflection of some comments that were said to me. And, we must realize also that as you keep, passing through these initiations and phases of perfecting love, when you do, those karmas, we call them, or negative effects, indeed do dissolve from the whole divine mind, from your pattern, and you're no longer dealing with that anymore. So, the love that you have gained right now, you have eternally, and you will never slide back from that. And when you're on the ascending path, remember that every step you gain becomes yours permanently. So you can look forward to not repeating. Once you've accomplished whatever task of love, you will not have to repeat that. And there are infinite domains of good that lay before you. I think since we have limited time, I'd just like to go over with you these tools, so you really know these, the tools of emancipation and attainment. The tools for walking the immortal path of love and ascending into our godhood, like the mystical character Psyche, once again. Now, Psyche, there's the myth of Psyche and Eros, or Cupid. And Psyche, early on, her parents were told that Psyche would not, have a mortal marriage, that she was destined to have an immortal marriage. And symbolically, Psyche was then dressed by her parents in black, in mourning. And she was brought to the top of the mountain, which to me symbolizes the renouncement or the phase of relinquishing the past, relinquishing the phases of mortal love. And they said to the parents, Psyche, which is all of us, our inner subconscious mind, Psyche is born of royal parentage, meaning Psyche comes from heaven, as we do. As the Christ said, we are in this plane, but not of it. Our home is heaven. We are spirits who have come from heaven into matter. So Psyche went through the phases of initiation, and one that I thought was very interesting was, she at the top of the mountain, and then she was brought to the castle where her lover would be, and she would not be able to see him. This is Eros, the embodiment god of love. And in the beginning, Psyche was taunted by her sisters who said, well, you don't really know what he looks like, and maybe he's not a god, maybe he's this, maybe he's that. And Psyche got tempted to break faith and to turn the light on and to see who he was. And Eros fled. Now later on, she got him back. But the message in this is this faith, and instead of trying to condition love and to say, it's got to be this person, it's got to be this way, it's got to be the way I see it, say, thy way, thy will, which we know, the will of God, which is the total essence of love, must be the highest and best beyond our greatest conception for us, with no punishment and those kinds of hell ideas in there, right? So to maintain that faith in the still moments, when it has not appeared, is, the time when we need to maintain that faith and know the divine presence is with us and is bringing forth for us in due time all that is good and true. So later, when Psyche had matured, Eros returned to her life, and they decided to make Psyche a god. All right? So this is what happens for us. She raised her consciousness to a more godly state by reaching out to incorporate higher paradigms through her being. And at a certain point that was accomplished, and her godhood, or her state of divinity, was restored to her. And she had a full marriage in the state of godhood with Eros, the god of love. So I think we're very all much like this story as we climb that mountain. and then we do attain, and then we, get to enjoy the kingdom, all right? So, in summarizing our tools, first remember, forgiveness. I mean, it's so important. It says in the Bible we must forgive, and Christ knew. He knew the law. He knew, and he would always say to people, before he would perform a healing, he would say, "Thy sins are forgiven thee," not because he was vain and thought he was God, but the Father within, he knew the spirit of man had to experience forgiveness to experience good. So we say our errors, we forgive ourselves our errors, and we move on. So we abide by the law of forgiveness, thereby cleansing our slate for new things to happen. And realize, freedom can happen in an instant. It does not have to take a long time. Stuart Wilde says this, when will this thing leave me? And the answer is, when you let it go. When you let it go. Are you willing to let go all that stuff for your new good? Okay? So it's really simple, and particularly since the compelling force of consciousness now, which is moving so strongly toward all attainments of love, we can let go of that past like it wasn't, like it never happened. And in fact, indeed, it never did. Okay? So we can let it go. You can be free right now. You can accomplish total freedom through overviewing and sweeping up all your past in love and forgiveness and letting it go. And it's easy to do. Remember, when you realize through your rational, evolving wisdom mind that all are and have been loved eternally in your life, always there for your highest good, no matter what it appears like. So it's easy to let go from that point of view. Now, second, we must set our new visions and standards of good, keeping always the good that we have attained. You can be in a relationship and you say, well, I accomplished this in that relationship, but that was missing. So keep and bless the good that you've attained, and know that you are ever-increasing spirit. You are never returning to diminishment. You know how we be afraid to let someone go because we're afraid that, well, maybe there'll be no one. Well, us metaphysicians know that letting go is the law to make way for the new good. So we think in terms of the new good is that which we have already established, plus more divine qualities added in. Okay? And we must always think in terms of plus for us who know that we are one with the infinite and the all. So here we are exercising now our faculty of choice. Third, we're employing strong desire. Now we must desire, we must really choose and desire with all the force of our being to establish new love, new good in our life. And we do this by meditation, as we said, communicating with the spiritual essence, going apart, knowing about ourselves, knowing what strikes us as right. And then we must prepare the way. You must prepare the way through eliminating everything that might conflict with your love coming in. And this would have meaning for all of us individually. But that's the law of elimination. You must eliminate from your life everything that might conflict with the realization of your new love coming in. So you can ask yourself this question later. What do I need to eliminate? All right? Now, Paul Coelho, the wonderful author who wrote The Alchemist, has a book around true love called By the River Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept, and it's an exquisite book of love. And at one point in the book, he's talking with his loved one, and they talk about we must let this glass drop from the table, meaning the fragile glass of conformity. All the ideas we have about role-playing, what's good, what we should be doing, the shoulds and oughts, all the conformity. So he speaks about let this glass of conformity drop and shatter, along with all its false roles. Taking a chance on your feeling this. It's knowing, as we said, if I follow my true heart's desire, my purpose, my intuition in integrity, putting false standards and burdens in the back seat, I shall prosper and true love shall be mine. This is in preparation, and in knowing what we're aligning with, we must remember now we are not functioning compartmentally anymore. You've got to be willing to give this up. We're abiding in the perfect laws of balance and affinity, balancing our physical, sexual, mental, emotional bodies, seeking love and being love on all planes simultaneously, including spiritual compatibility as a must in relationships. How can you have great love if the essence of your life is not there? It's not acknowledged. So there must be spiritual compatibility, because in that there's endless domains of expansion, and love can renew itself endlessly. If it is not present, it will be limited and boxed in some way. So, and spiritual compatibility gives your love strength and force throughout all of your challenges. For if love is relegated to one or two dimensions, we know it is doomed to mortality. It will pass. For it has no soulic, sustaining, nor expansion power. And we must be definite in our commitments, always choosing the higher modality, referring, as we said, Christ, Buddha, because if we don't make these inner commitments, I think these are very powerful. You know, you can look at your life and you can say, well, you know, every day this week, whenever the tendency toward anger comes up, or whatever you want to put in there, I am going to, in that instant, suspend my feelings and choose to be loved. See how powerful this is? And you can do this, and you will find you're really alchemizing your emotional body, because when you make a commitment to yourself, you remember it. And in the instant when you need it, even though the tugs are going this way, you go. You know, you remember your choice. We don't want to be easily magnetized. Now, after we have done our work, the last phase, of course, is to abide in faith, knowing we have rightly prepared ourselves and become our more immortal body of love in all our ways. We know, and we shall never return to the past. We ask for now our divine and immortal love, knowing they shall appear, and we shall all ascend together. And in these bodies, in this plane, we shall erect our new crystal consciousness by being servants of divine law and love. And we give thanks morning, noon, and night. The most powerful, magnetic thing you can ever do is silently give thanks morning, noon, and night that we do indeed all attain this most desired state. We are the lovers in whom God is very well pleased. Henceforth we treat everyone in our stream with love, knowing we are building our immortal love body. We treasure all and cherish and always seek the good. We make the way for grace to appear in our life with ease. And in closing, I'd like to do this short meditation. Remember, we must define what we want. So let us do this meditation on the meeting of your twin flame in time and space, in whom all aspects are perfectly balanced. The masculine and feminine being balanced in you, therefore in this person. Wholeness is complete in you, therefore in this person. This is the one that you have always loved. And you are free to love each other anew right now. we go within to the high holy place of love, as it was established by God, perfect and radiant. Now see the flame of your perfect partner being born out of the top of your head. As he or she rises out, see the etheric pattern of him or her shaping right there in front of you. And as he or she forms, who is so perfect for you, you just stand there, regarding and appreciating each other ever so deeply. As you contemplate the pattern of this being, who are they in essence? What is he or she like? What attracts you so infinitely and magnetically and irresistibly toward this person? What is it you love so intimately about this person? Regard now and breathe in the absolute reality of your love. Now be aware. What do they cherish about you? What attributes do they adore, serve, and support? What is your mutual vision of life together unfolding? How is he or she so perfect for you? Now both of you give mighty thanks to Father, Mother, God, that you are already met within. So sure, God shall provide right and perfect meeting circumstances without. Give thanks for your certainty that you have been brought together now in time and space, unencumbered, free of the past, risen, and ready to receive of and respond to one another. Give thanks for your great life of love and purpose and spirit and ever-unfolding accomplishments together. How are you together in intimacy? How are you with the world? See yourself as the very best possible partner for this person, and them being the very best without qualification whatsoever. They are the ultimate best and perfect for you. See how your love has ever-renewing powers and majesty and a magically prospering element. Everything you do flourishes, and an eternal sense of ongoing satisfaction and bliss and extraordinary good emanates around your relationship. See yourself having met each other at a time now in the physical of fullness and readiness, where you both have created a specific spot in your life to embrace and enjoy each other. Whatever was keeping you apart is no longer separating you by mutual decree. You are met in spirit now. You recognize each other completely now. You are irresistible and perfect in magnetism, and that which is made in heaven is made on earth. which is paired in heaven is surely paired in perfect time on earth. You depart one another now in absolute confidence, peace, knowing you have the opportunity to come together and unfold all the good that is within you and within each other. And you are grateful and confident and so. So I know it is done unto everyone today, and that new and wonderful experiences are flowing your way on your ascension into perfect love.